that last Friday of Kid's life, you were all together in New Orleans for a kids golf tournament and doing a lot of things that Kid Kraddick loved to do. The next day, the four of you were together, posing for fan photos, and Jenna's cell phone rings. What happened when you answered your phone?
It's like something out of a movie. And I've seen a lot of movies, and you don't ever think that's going to happen to you. And I would have preferred it probably not happen that way, because who am I, the newest member of the show, even though I've been here for a while, to get that news, and I don't want to deliver that news to anyone. I didn't react the way that I think a mature person should act, because I just dropped the phone.
You dropped?
I dropped
you
to the ground.
Altogether.
I mean, I'm in a room of all of these fans, and we're at this event, and we knew Kid wasn't feeling well, but I just knew that phone call was for real, and I knew that it was...
Why did you know it was for real?
You can just tell that no one jokes about something like that, and when you kind of start putting the pieces together, someone saying, I'm so sorry he didn't make it, I just, I said, what are you talking about? And I dropped the phone because I just knew it was real, and JC, I don't remember a whole lot at that moment, because I do remember thinking I shouldn't have done that, I should have run out of the room. But they, of course, followed after me because they knew something was wrong. And I stood up, and JC picked up the phone. And, it was all kind of a blur. And I just knew at that moment. I'm not sure, just an instinct. And no one jokes about that kind of thing. And I don't know.
I've never seen anybody drop to the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we were about to take a picture.
We were in front of a cake. We were in front of a cake that had all of our caricatures on it. So it was this cake with Kid and Kelly and Al and Jenna and myself on it. And we were all going to take a picture in front of the little puppets, basically, that they made of us. And Kid wasn't there because he wasn't feeling well.
I mean, I feel like someone literally pulled the ground out from underneath me.
But,
and,
we all dropped in our own way, but we...
Oh, yeah.
You just physically couldn't.
Yeah.
You had no control.
I just, because at that moment, I knew it was true, and I knew that our lives were going to change, drastically. I mean, I, at that moment, lost one of the most important people in my entire life. This has been the biggest and coolest chapter of my life, and, it changed.
You said you knew, and I knew it wasn't true. I was like, no.
Right.
I remember specifically, we were only 3-4 minutes from the hospital, but I just went all the way to the hospital. I'm like, no, Kid's not dead. No.
Well,
that's what I
did. Yeah, at first when I picked Jenna's phone up, I didn't think Kid. I thought maybe somebody close to her, a friend, a family member, or something, but not Kid. That was not going through my head. So when I put the phone up to my ear and I said, who is this? And it's a random name. It happened to be the guy that was driving us that day.
Right.
I didn't remember his name.
He had just driven.
And he says, this is so-and-so, he's gone. So again, I'm going, okay, so it's a guy, so it's must be one of Jenna's friends. And I said, who's gone? And he said, it's Kid. And that's still wasn't processing to me. When he said Kid's gone, I said, yeah, he wasn't feeling well. He drove away with the bus that we were in. And he goes, no, he's dead. And I like Jenna, I just hung up the phone on him. I didn't even ask why or what happened. I just hung up on him.
So the whole way there, I'm convinced maybe they revived him. That's what I was thinking the whole
that's
time.
Exactly what
and I was mad.
Okay.
I was mad that man jumped the gun and had shared such devastating news and had gotten Jenna all upset, because this isn't what's happened. He's fine.
And there's no way he could.
So that's what I thought.
He was just here. We were just out on Bourbon the night before.
I could just tell by the tone in his voice.
Within minutes, all doubt was erased. And
you went to the hospital.
Yeah, where were you as you're walking through? And
they took us to the room. At the hospital, they have the waiting area, and they have the room. And they don't take you to the room for good news. So when they took us to the room
with the chairs,
room with the chair and nothing on the wall, it's just
the horrible tissues.
Yeah, there's boxes of tissues. There's 4 or 5 chairs,
and that's it.
And you automatically know you would be walking me into the room where he's
either he is or a waiting room or something.
But
they took us to the room, and our boss
came.
Was in
there?
No. Our boss came in.
It was a waiting room.
It's a waiting room.
Oh, the waiting room. Okay. So the
Before
doctor
they
can
take
come
you,
in.
give you bad news.
the little room.
The little room.
Okay.
And the doctor walks in, and you almost want him not to speak.
You wouldn't
I
stop.
think we even said no, but he has to tell you. And he told us he tried everything he could to revive him, and that they pumped him with all sorts of medicine to see if anything would take, and that unfortunately he had passed away. And at that time, I believe we all just made eye contact, and you don't cry. You just feel numb. It's like when one of those stun bombs goes off and you see them in movies, and it's just this really high-pitched sound in your ear, and it's just, everything just goes blank. And then it just comes back to life.
What was the first thing that you asked?
Well, the first thing I asked was, did he suffer? Because, I get upset thinking about it again. But that's really the only thing that I just hate to think of someone.
She did. She asked the doctor, and the doctor said no.
Said he never
And he
knew
never
what
did.
happened, really.
It just happened so fast that.
I just didn't want him to be scared or in any pain at the end. If he died, it was really perfect way for him to go. He spent the night on Bourbon Street having a great time with listeners, with JC doing bits, and he shot some craps, which was his favorite game, and he shot
Played a
played
little
a little
golf.
golf, he teed off, and then he dropped dead.
Did his favorite things.
And
Last
he
thing he
didn't
did-
suffer, and that was, I didn't want him to suffer. Or
Last
be
thing he did
scared.
was taking pictures with listeners. The last pictures of Kid Kraddick are pictures with him, with kids, people that are helping his charity, and listeners that showed up to be a part of it. Those were the last pictures he took.